Okay,
Are you recording?
I'm recording.
Okay.
Are you recording?
Kevin, I have a treat for you.
I love when you bring me treats. I'm a raccoon in a captain's hat.
I wrote you something.
Oh, okay.
And
Great.
by me,
is it a limerick?
I mean our good friend and our first mate, ChatGPT, wrote you something.
Oh, great. Yes, we also. This is. You're batting 1,000 right now.
See, I told you would like this.
Bring it on.
All right, you ready?
Yeah. What did our future AI overlord have to say about?
Wrote you a little poem.
Oh, a
about
poem
the UnPop podcast.
Is it a limerick? I asked this already.
With a small twist.
Oh, okay, great. Can't wait.
Aye, gather round ye scallywags bold, for tales of truth and treasures untold.
Woo!
On the UnPop seas they sail each week, with salty words and voices sleek.
Ooh.
Captain Kevin at the wheel so grand, steers hot takes with a steady hand.
This is a limerick.
While Chef Odie cooks up spicy lore, from pop culture myths to pirate war.
Oh my god.
From pop culture myths.
Keep going.
No parrots squawk, no mainstream gold. They chase the tales the world won't hold. With rum-soaked laughs and cannon fire, they roast the trends that most admire.
Oh.
So hoist the flag, let fandoms quake. These buccaneers give no remake a break. For the UnPop
Wow.
ship, the truth runs deep, and scared crows walk the plank or go to sleep.
Scared crows?
I don't know, man.
It got weird at the end there. That's
It did.
all right. Oh, okay, ChatGPT.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's not crows. It's cows.
Oh, scared cows? Cows. We
I
have
will send
cows
this
on
to
our
you.
ship.
I will text this.
That's
to you.
fucking.
Do you like
all
that?
right.
I was
Oh,
walking my
okay.
dog this morning, and I was thinking about poems, and I was like, man, how funny would it be if ChatGPT wrote us a pirate poem about our thing?
About
'Cause,
our.
you know, I'm talking. I'm
that's
cooking up spicy lore and pirate war.
That's our. You are actually, and well, and this is our UnPop vessel. I canonically now have a captain's hat, regardless of whatever channel we're on, and yeah,
Exactly.
no, I love that. Great job. It sounded like a sea shanty. Okay, 7 out of 10. Could
Okay,
be a
ChatGPT.
9 out of 10 if you sang it.
Well, last time I sang, it almost broke your sobriety.
Which was
so-
5 minutes ago. Yes, 5 minutes ago,
which
you
was right
almost broke
before
my sobriety with a voice memo going, Kevin's sober, he's fucking sober. And I was
I
like,
love that
this
he's
is
sober.
torturous. I could drink
I
now.
don't sing, Kevin. I cook and I tell stories about movies.
What would you do if that was the actual beginning of this podcast? Is I'm 5 years sober today. You sang me a song and I immediately had a shot of vodka to temper it. like what would you do about that?
I would feel horrible.
Good.
I would
'cause
feel horrible.
I was gonna make the joke that I did, but is that humor too dark? Like, is anti-sober? Because like I told you, there was I was at the bachelor party and I was bringing someone a beer and I went, oh, and everybody was like, oh no, don't do that. Don't. But
I think
I feel like telling people that made me want to drink has taken on an extra layer. You know, like if something's really bad and I go, wow, that really made me want to drink. People are like, what? Wait, what? Really? I'm sorry.
See, I think that dark humor is perfectly on brand for the movie we're going to talk about, because the movie we're going to talk about has some hilarious dark humor.
It really does. Let's just start up the fucking music. No punchline
Let's do
this
it.
week. Yeah.
Yarr!
All right. 3, 2, 1. Did you slap yourself?
I swear to God, stop closing your eyes when we do this slap.
3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another
Oh my
episode
gosh,
of the UnPop Podcast. My name is Kevin Miner, he, him. With me as always is... Wait, I'm your Capitan Todo the Emperor. With me as always is...
Odie Matthews.
I'm drinking.
Odie Matthews, the chef, cooking up that delicious content. He.
Yeah. Love it. Welcome to another episode of this wonderful pirate-themed, sometimes ship captained by a raccoon in a captain's hat.
We've never talked about anything pirate. We've never covered a pirate movie, a pirate TV show, a pirate book. We've never done anything pirate.
You know what we could do? We could do all of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies on Magnum Opus.
You know, that's on my list, and I really want to do that.
I would do that with you.
For those of you that don't know, Magnum Opus, Kevin has been on now 2 episodes. We did Fantastic Four 2005, and we also did Alien 4 Resurrection, which is the one that's out now.
Yes.
You can find those not only on the Magnum Opus channel, but all the content that Kevin and I do together will also be over on the UnPop YouTube channel.
We're cross-pollinating. We're like bees,
you can go wherever
baby.
you'd like. If you want to listen to podcasts and then immediately listen to Kevin talk about Space Wheaties, you can go to the UnPop channel.
We're little worker bees, you know?
Yeah. And we have some awesome art. Kevin has his own avatar for Magnum Opus now. He's a little raccoon. That's my wonderful partner, Nate, drew. So shout out to them for doing some wonderful art for the channel.
Nate really knocked it out of the park. I look whimsical.
You look awesome, dude. Actually, I showed that video to a couple of my other people I know in real life before the video came out. Yeah. And 2 out of 3 of them were like, the raccoon's an awesome touch. I was like, thank you, I guess.
All right. Well, so I feel like we should also mention, since we said canonically, you didn't like that idea. You didn't want me to be a raccoon in a captain's hat. Yeah, and I really wanted it for no reason. Like, I couldn't. If you asked me why that, like, I would be like, I would like stumble through whatever reason. It was legitimately like an ADHD, like, impulsive moment, like, where I was just like, raccoon in a captain's hat, you got to make me, like, you know what, it was improv. Like, I'm just, every once in a while, I'm yes-anding, and no one else around me is, like, I'm in the middle.
Yourself in the mirror.
Yeah, I'm yes, you're, like, texting me, and I'm like, I want to be a raccoon in a captain's hat. Like, that's me giving you, as Drew Carey, a prompt for Whose Line Is It Anyway? Like, sometimes life is... Brady. Sometimes life is whose line is it anyway, and the answer is it's my line. It's my line, and I'm about to just throw some randomness out there at you. Odie, let's go to the news?
Yeah,
do I have your permission to go to the news?
No, because you know what? Our video about Fantastic Four,
hold up.
You said that they came out in 67, and we got corrected, and they came out in 61.
Whatever.
And that kind of stuff was just not allowed.
My God. I wasn't even born. Like, I just comment that as the response. Like, I wasn't even born. Like,
nah, it was a really polite correction.
I know.
They were really nice about it. I'm just giving you a hard time.
That's like, that's the perfect response to that, though. Like, it actually came out in 67. I wasn't born. I don't know. Like, I'm just guessing.
Let's go to the news.
To the news. No, that's not the fucking
I thought that was it. I do that every time. I always forget.
It's a smooth thing. It was me, and I came in, and I'm doing, like, my best Isaac Hayes. I'm like, yeah, baby. Like, that's
that's
the
right.
news.
It is that.
But it's not. I feel like I made that sound more like Ferris Bueller than Isaac Hayes. Like, it's not that news. It's not chicka chicka news. I'm going to play it now.
Okay.
Yeah, baby. It's the UnPop News coming at you fresh and hot from the command deck of the SS Marlon Brando. Let's see what this week had in store.
Odie, what's the news?
Speaking of...
Okay.
We finally have an update on the Batman 2. It is going to release in it looks like October of 2027. It starts filming early next year. Mm-hmm. Because Robert Pattinson is filming Dune Part 3. I had to think for a second. Dune Part 3 beforehand.
Dune.
So it's Dune Part 3 with Robert Pattinson and Denis Villeneuve. Then we'll get the Batman 2 with Robert Pattinson and Matt Reeves. Yep. And then we'll get Denis Villeneuve's Bond movie. So honestly, like, that series of movies, like, great directors, great actors, great movies, like, it's going to be awesome.
I can't wait for Dune Part 3 to have the unofficial subtitle, Republicans Think It's Woke, because that's definitely... But if you've read the books, here we go. Get ready for
Strap into your sandworm, everybody.
I can't believe Dune went so woke. It's like, well, go back in time. Fucking stop Frank Herbert from writing a amazing trilogy that influenced so much science fiction. Anyway,
I love it when people go after a science fiction thing. Like, people have said, like, oh, Star Wars is woke because there's gay people. There are humans that have sex with aliens, and you're worried about gay. What?
Yeah,
Dude,
Jabba the Hutt wanted to make Leia a sex slave, and you're worried about LGBTQ?
You're worried about two women kissing in one scene briefly?
Just someone. Like, I'm not even going to put a political, like, descriptor on them. Just someone who's anti-DEI in the Star Wars universe would not survive. Like, you would just not. Like, actually, I'm pretty sure humans are the minority in the Star Wars universe.
Yes. Absolutely.
Real quick on Batman 2, I think this is the best promotion campaign that anyone's ever done. It's been a real morphine trip these past couple years of just ads and updates. And like I can't wait for in the future where they're like that we did all of that intentionally. We actually had the script done years ago. Like
okay, so do you know kind of the story behind Matt Reeves and why it's taken so long to get the Batman 2 going?
No.
So, and I don't know all of this off the top of my head, but what I do know is obviously Matt Reeves, most famous for prior to the Batman, the Planet of the Apes like prequel redo movies. He did the first 3.
Okay.
He also did a really great movie called Let Me In with Chloe Grace Moretz about vampire.
Yes.
Great movie. So he's a writer who, like most good writers, likes to take his time. He wants to flesh it out. Obviously, Batman's a big property. The DC merger happened while he was making the Batman. So there's been a lot of like, is this part of the Superman world? Is this an Elseworlds thing? Yada, yada, yada. People also speculated at one point that he wasn't even going to finish it because he had like personal issues.
Oh, wow.
Other people started speculating that he had health issues out of nowhere. People
like
started speculating that Robert Pattinson was going to drop out because he made a comment about being too old.
Oh, God.
All this stuff.
I feel like there's like a subset of people who comment on things on the internet that like jump to the health issues thing, you know?
Always.
Which is not like you could get sick at any point in your life, so it's not technically wrong, but it's like, all right, pump the brakes. Like,
yeah.
Like, unless you're like someone who knows and has heard Matt Reeves say, you know what, I should probably be honest about this. You know?
Yeah.
Like,
right. Like, and the thing is, part of what, and this is my speculation, so take this how you will, but the Penguin show came out, and it was really well received. And then we got word that we're getting a Clayface movie that's going to be more grounded. It's going to be a body horror.
I love that.
And I think that's part of what Matt Reeves might have been like, well, maybe, and this is speculation, but it could be one of two things. I think maybe like the Clayface story might be trying to get folded into this Robert Pattinson world.
I hope it is.
I think that would fit.
Well,
I think that fits the vibe.
We heard Mr. Freeze is the villain.
It might be.
Like, it was said like confirmed Mr. Freeze is in the new one.
I don't believe that.
And this is what I'm saying. This is the best ad campaign that's ever existed.
Oh, totally.
For a superhero film. Because here we are just talking about it incessantly.
Yeah, well, people have speculated, like I have, that like what happened in the Penguin and with the Clayface movie, like that affected it. But also some people, and I'm kind of on the fence on this, but some people are like, just put him in the Superman world. So maybe Matt Reeves rewrote it to like fit into being in David Cornsett's Superman world. And
the mystery's amazing. I love it. I can't wait.
What I like about that, and I want your opinion, and I was thinking about this.
I will give you my opinion whether you want it or not.
Great. I saw Superman again.
Yes.
I went to an early showing just because I wanted to see it again. And I actually kind of think that Robert Pattinson's Batman is a great, like, Batman to put opposed to Superman, because Superman's all about being punk rock. He's helping people. He's light. He's fun. And Batman is dark and gritty and moody. And like, I think it'd be really funny to see Robert Pattinson's Batman interact with David Cornsett's Superman.
I think just the only reason I disagree with that is because thematically they're so different.
Mm-hmm.
Like
that's the only thing.
The approach, and I don't mean them, like the characters. Like I actually agree with
stories.
you character-wise, yes. But
exactly.
it feels like their universes, right? Like
it doesn't fit. Yeah.
Like in Batman's universe, it feels like he's the only vigilante right now. You know.
Also, it doesn't feel like that universe is gonna have metahumans and stuff. It would feel very weird.
Well, and like. If he was in that universe, like Superman, like fucking what's his name, the Green Lantern,
Guy Gardner.
Guy Gardner doesn't fit that Batman. You know, like he's a good Batman to bring over and like add some seriousness to it. Superman would be like, wow, what a buzzkill, you know, or like whatever. But like Guy Gardner interacting, I just don't see that ever happening.
That's
you know,
the problem.
like I wouldn't believe it.
I see Batman and Superman interacting, but I don't see Superman fitting in that Gotham. I don't see that Batman going to Metropolis. Like, it doesn't. I don't see that Batman going out during the day.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
so.
And famously, Nathan Fillion owes Robert Pattinson money. So, like, he's
famously.
probably trying to avoid him.
I would imagine. You know what else?
Okay, what else?
You know what else is being avoided?
What?
Michael Bay.
Good segue.
Who's directed your favorite trilogy of wonderful movies called Rebel Transformers. I crossed two franchises.
You almost said Michael Bay did Rebel Moon, and that's an insult to even him.
Yes, it is.
You're a psychopath for that.
Okay, let me say this right now.
Wow.
Michael Bay. I'm sorry. I like Michael Bay.
He doesn't accept your apology. He just texted me right now.
No,
He says, "Tell Odie,
genuinely?
tell Odie they're dead to me."
No, Michael.
Yeah,
Michael.
I know. Nope.
Michael.
No, he's gone.
He
said,
I
texted me. He said, "I'm
Michael
gone."
Bay.
I'm gone.
I like him a lot, actually.
Yeah.
The Transformers movies are bad, but they're kind of fun, obviously.
I
love
love the
13
Transformers
hours.
movies.
I did him on Magnum Opus and had a great time.
Great.
But he dropped out of directing Fast and Loose, which was going to be like spy movie, did they, didn't they kind of thing. He dropped out because Will Smith is the star, and apparently they're having creative differences. And let me just say this. If you've seen what Will Smith has been up to in the last year, I would say maybe remove him from the project and keep Michael Bay.
Well, it might be his project. He might be like, because sometimes like actors will
but I'm saying
and shit. If he's a producer, then it makes more sense for Michael Bay to be like, yeah, cool, I'll just drop this.
Well, my point is that Will Smith has gone off the deep end. His music videos and his new rap album is cringy. His movies have not been good, and he's not relevant anymore.
Here's a funny thing. There's no way that you could have known that this happened last night, but I was at a fire at like a friend's house, and I played Marcin, who's like a super talented acoustic guitar player, right? Like they were like, "Hey, play whatever you want." And I was like, "Oh, cool, acoustic guitar for the fire." And Marcin actually, Will Smith got Marcin to play a bunch of acoustic guitar for his like EP that he did. And so Marcin's playing, and like a couple Marcin songs play, and like he does a really great cover of No Quarter by Led Zeppelin, and like, or not No Quarter, Kashmir by Led Zeppelin. And then like right after that, like all of a sudden I just hear like Will Smith rapping. And I was like, what are you doing here, Will Smith? No, I wanted the acoustic guitar. I didn't want you rapping about whatever it is. And it's not good. Like the rap was not good. I was not. I was like, can you skip this, please? I know I put this on. Can you skip this? Can
you skip what I put on?
Can you skip the thing I put something else on now?
I lost a lot of respect for Will Smith when he got up for a music award. I don't remember what year it was, but he basically insulted every rapper who curses. And he was like, I did this without having to curse. You don't need to have foul language in your music. And he was basically going after Eminem. And look, I'm not an Eminem fan just because that's not my style of music, really. But, like, to get up there and have the audacity to be like, if you curse in your music, you're not as good as me. Shut the fuck up, dude.
Dude, no.
Like, you're not a goody two-shoes. Your wife cheated on you with your son's friend. Shut up.
Yeah, 100%. Moving on.
Anyways,
I
didn't mean to go that direction with it.
No, it's good. It's fine. I think that's a good point to end that on. It's like, fuck you, Will Smith. All right, moving on. I'm glad Michael Bay dropped you.
I hope he does another movie.
I hope Michael Bay rewrites your script, packages it as something better, and makes a blockbuster hit.
Whoa! Honestly, Michael Bay actually might direct the G.I. Joe Transformers crossover movie, and I'm on board.
It's an automatic hit. Like, everybody's gonna go to watch their favorite toys fight that they used to make fight as kids. Like,
exactly.
You're gonna. I feel I would go. I haven't even watched any of the G.I. Joe movies. I haven't watched a single one. But I would go just to be like, all right, let's see if they have the same plot that 4-year-old me had when my G.I. Joes fought my Transformers.
Hold on, I've got to add the G.I. Joe movies to our Magnum Opus list that we're covering together.
No!
You shouldn't have said that, because there's 2 of them. And we're also going to do the Now You See Me movies when the new one comes out.
Oh, now you 3 me.
Now you see me, now you don't 3 me.
Get out.
All right, next bit of news. We have some awesome news updated on. Wow, my brain just shut off halfway through that sentence.
Okay. Great,
Take two.
Odie.
You
Great.
can edit this out, right?
Yeah,
You
no.
can edit this out?
No.
Okay, cool.
We have
Star
some
Wars
great news
Starfighter.
updated.
Star Wars Starfighter has
Yes.
cast not one,
Okay.
but two villains with Mia Goth, who we already kind of was speculated to join.
Fuck it. Yes. I'm not sick of her yet. More.
More.
This is
More.
The more meme.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm doing that right now.
Oh yeah,
It's
fucking
Kylo Ren, episode 8.
It's Kylo Ren. Yeah. That's the
But
most
guess
appropriate meme right now. More.
It's not just Mia Goth.
Okay.
It's also Matt Smith. And before you say anything, clap.
Yeah.
Clap.
I'm applauding.
Clap.
I'm standing.
I'm applauding. He's standing. Oh.
That's my junk in your face. I wore
Yeah,
gray
sit down.
sweatpants today.
Sit down. So here's the thing. Okay. I want to say this before we even talk about this casting, because Matt Smith originally for episode 9, back when Colin Trevorrow, who did Jurassic World, was supposed to direct it, and it was originally going to be called Duel of Fates, not Rise of Skywalker.
Which would have been
Colin
sick.
Trevorrow and if you do yourself a favor, if you're a Star Wars fan and you're mad about the sequel trilogy, look up what Duel of Fates was originally going to be. It would have saved that. The sequel trilogy would honestly probably be a masterpiece, in my opinion.
I think had they kept Rian Johnson on, it would have been amazing.
I think just not. Anyways, we could talk about that another time. Matt Smith was originally cast as a young Palpatine in episode 9. Whether it was going to be for a flashback or and here's my speculation. It was probably going to be a flashback to something with Dark Plagueis.
That would have been
teased in the
sick.
Acolyte. So Matt Smith getting a chance to come back to the Star Wars universe, play a villain, which he's great at, and be the opposite of what's his name? Ryan Gosling, directed by Sean Levy, with Mia Goth and Matt Smith. Like, that's just fucking awesome.
The thing I like about Matt Smith specifically in this role is, like, in a villain role in the Star Wars universe, is his ability very similar to Paul Bettany, right? Paul Bettany's actually at this point, Paul Bettany is like my favorite villain in the Star Wars universe. I know he doesn't get like some crazy overarching plot and like, you know, like it, but he was so perfectly calmly menacing in Solo, right? Like he was absolutely phenomenal. And I feel like Matt Smith has the same vibe. Like he can be like very calm and endearing and charismatic and funny and then really dark, and his voice has that tone to it where like when it shifts, you don't even need the music cue because you can hear his voice shift. He's a very good actor with that. And Mia Goth, very similar, like with the X series, the X trilogy, so X, Pearl, and Maxine. She does the same thing with 3 very different characters.
Incredible.
So absolutely, like that's why I'm applauding. I'm not just applauding because I like them. I'm applauding because I'm like, oh no, this makes sense. This sounds good.
No, I love this, and another reason I love this is because this is supposed to be the first thing we get post episode 9. I am fingers crossed that these villains aren't Empire, they're not First Order, they're not Sith. Just like give us a new type of villain. I would love and I keep thinking Starfighter is like, and I don't think it's going to be like a fighter pilot kind of movie. Yeah. But I would love like a fighter pilot movie where like it's a good pilot and an evil pilot. But like either way, no matter what this movie's about, because we don't really know, and no matter what these villains are, whether they're Sith, Dark Jedi, that's whatever. Like I don't really care. I'm fucking stoked. I'm ready for some more. I'm ready for good Star Wars again, Kevin. Andor season 2 was incredible. I'm ready for some good Star Wars again.
Same.
Ahsoka season 2, maybe, if we're lucky.
Yeah. I think that would be good.
All right.
What else you got?
I know you're a big fan of these movies, so I'm curious, did you see the new Final Destination?
No.
Aren't you a fan of those?
It's more like they're entertaining to me. It's more like I'll watch them. Yeah. I'm not like it's the same thing with like sometimes you go back and you watch like the Resident Evil movies and you're like, oh yeah, there's interesting ways people die and some like crazy things in this. You know, like the Final Destination movies, I'm not like, oh yeah, let's fucking go see Final Destination. But yeah.
Well, even though the last one was supposed to be the last one and it connected all the movies together, yeah, we're getting another one. Another one.
Turns out there was another Grim Reaper who's coming to get you.
I think probably this series, kind of like Saw and some others, it's just due for a complete new reboot, a new everything. Just don't connect it to anything. Just because at this point you've got too many things trying to connect, and I think Bloodlines. I don't like the Final Destination movies. Never been a fan. Never seen them. Never will. But from what I've heard, the newest one did a really good job of like tying a nice little bow on everything. So
it turns out everything's related to that log truck from the second one.
Dude, that shit. Okay, there's a clip in the new one where like there's like a Space Needle, like Seattle Space Needle, that's falling apart, and this little boy runs out and he's smiling because he made it, and then a piece of it just falls on him, and that's really funny.
Oh God.
Last bit of news.
Yeah.
Because I don't have much to say about Final Destination. Do you?
I've got one comment. Final Destination is like 1,000 Ways to Die, right? Like it's just
you're
like, oh, what's the creative way that they've written into the script for this person to die? And a lot of times they foreshadow it with their like, oh, she never gets out of the tanning bed. Turns out she's never gonna get out of that tanning bed. Like so there's they foreshadow the ways that people die, and sometimes they give you like the 1-2 of it, and like it's really like it's a surprise and it's extra gory or whatever. There is that one person that gets pegged by a tire at a NASCAR race, so like it is entertaining at least, but like I don't think take a fucking break, write something different for a little bit, like do a Final Destination like period piece or something, like go back in time, like we don't need another Final Destination movie that ties fucking Devon Sawa, I think, is in the original, right? Like to everything else. Like anyway,
Tony Todd was the guy that connected them until he passed away. He was in the newest one.
Oh,
he was in,
okay.
like, the first two.
Interesting.
I think horror is in the spot where, and we'll talk about this obviously here in a second, but I think with directors like Zach Cregger and Robert Eggers and stuff coming up, I think I'm tired of seeing Friday the 13th Part 25 and Freddy vs. Krueger 27, and like I think we're at the point where we can kind of let some of these like staple names maybe take a break.
Yeah, I agree.
But last little you know what? This is a perfect segue, because speaking of things that could probably take a break and we don't really need, you're a huge Lord of the Rings fan, Kevin, and
I love Lord of the Rings.
I'm sure you've always wondered, between the Fellowship of the Ring and the Two Towers, how did Gandalf and Aragorn find Gollum? Well, I got good news for you, because we're going to get a movie telling us how they did that.
They did
called Hunt for Gollum.
But they didn't.
Yeah, that's what it's about.
Oh, but they didn't.
Gandalf learns that Bilbo had the ring, and him and Aragorn go off on an adventure to find Gollum in between 1 and 2.
But they didn't.
I don't want to tell you. I'm reading the news. It says it right here.
That's so lame. I pass.
I don't want to see this.
Yeah, pass. Is Viggo Mortensen in it?
But the thing is, even if you
Viggo
got him and
Mortensen in
Gandalf
it?
back, it's not confirmed. All it's confirmed is Andy Serkis is writing and directing.
Pass.
I
love
like
Andy
Andy
Serkis.
Serkis.
Yeah, but
yeah.
pass.
But pass.
Yeah.
I
will skip.
Let's.
No, I want to talk about Spider-Punk. That's cool. We got cool news about Spider-Punk.
Oh, right. I'm sorry.
You skipped my news.
You're right. I'm sorry. I didn't have that on my list.
Sometimes I bring you tithings of news. I bring
Daniel
you
Kahlúa is to co-write. Oh, I always say it's kind of like when I say a lot of names wrong. But he's supposed to write a live action spider.
Daniel Kahlúa is like he's like spokesperson for a fucking beverage. Daniel Kahlúa and the new Black Russian. Like that's Daniel Kahlúa. He's like, hey, what's up, guys? All right, cool. Yeah, Spider-Punk's cool, right? All right, cool.
I love Spider-Punk, and I love him. So I think,
hell yeah.
I think a live-action Spider-Punk would be really cool, but do you think he's going to star in it? Because he's kind of old.
No, I don't think.
For that role.
Well, it's animated. Daniel Kahlúa is co-writing Spider-Punk, the animated
Oh, it's animated
movie. Yeah, so this is Spider-Punk a la the Spider-Verse a la so it's a spin-off.
The trilogy that's never going to end.
So I think it's a spin-off from that Spider-Verse. Well, the third one comes out like next year.
The third one was supposed to come out 3 months ago.
Yeah.
It hasn't even started production.
But that happened with the second one, too. Like, it got way held off, and it's fine. When it wraps up, we'll be like, oh, great, we're done with that. Cool. And then they'll go, Spider-Punk? And I'll go, yes, thank you. Spider-Punk is one of the cooler Spider-Man characters. I feel like the success of that universe, the Into the Spider-Verse universe, specifically has made Sony go, all right, well, let's see which one of these sticks. And they're like doing the Spider-Man Noir with Nicolas Cage. They're doing
that's a live action.
They're doing
one too.
they're doing Spider-Punk. Like, so
Yeah.
I feel like they're trying these things out. And although I mean, guaranteed not all of them are going to be good. I feel like if even one good thing comes out of it, it'll be fun. You know, like at the least, it'll be fun.
I love Spider-Man, and I love a lot of the different versions of Spider-Man. So I think doing a mix of, I think a live action Nicolas Cage Spider-Man Noir is a great choice. I think Spider-Punk is a great choice for animated.
Yep.
I think you could even do, and I would do this animated as well, but you could do a Gwen Stacy with Haley Steinfeld, because if you did live action, she's Hawkeye Jr. or whatever in Marvel already.
Oh yeah.
So I think you could do her live action. Plus, I just really like the look of the animated Gwen Stacy. But one of the things that's interesting about the Spider-Verse and this news specifically is I think it was Kevin Feige said that we probably won't see Miles Morales in the MCU for a while.
Which is lame.
And I kind of thought that's where they were going to go with the new trilogy of Spider-Man movies, where they were going to kind of phase Tom Holland out, and by the third one it would be Miles Morales. So...
Oh, yeah?
So I think that doing animated stuff around the Spider-Verse, especially around the Spider-Verse, because you know what? I would love to see live action or animated. Give me Oscar Isaacs as Spider-Man 2099 in the future, whether it's animated or live action. I would love that.
Hell yeah. No, I'm okay. I'm 100% into everything that you're saying. The only thing that I would say about it is there's also the oversaturation, right? And we've complained about superhero fatigue, and I feel like if they do too many of the properties from that universe, then yeah, it'll be superhero fatigue. So if we've got Miles Morales still kind of in limbo, even with the Into the Spider-Verse, it's not worth it to just throw a live action Miles Morales into this MCU, because then immediately people are going to be like,
oh, yeah.
Well, what if the two Miles Moraleses meet? You know? And is Madam Web going to be there? And I'm like, shut up, sit down, get out of here.
I think that, I kind of just thought that that's they were going to introduce him in the trilogy. And if they're not, that means they already have a clear path for it, which is fine. Don't put him in if you don't have a plan for him. I just thought it was interesting that they're kind of keeping some of those characters. But I guess it really depends on the MCU in general. But this is separate. And the thing is, Spider-Man Noir is a TV show. It's a miniseries.
Yeah.
It's 6 to 8 episodes, I think. So
which is, I think that's all we need.
Split it up a little bit. Do some miniseries. And again, I've been on this kick for a while. I love, and Andor really made me realize this. Yeah. I love either one season of 8 episodes, done, or give me 2 seasons, about 10 episodes in each season, and it's done. Where it ends definitively. None of this, because I finished watching Modern Family. 11 seasons and 250 episodes, and 4 months later, I finally finished that show, and I'm like, this is too much.
Yeah,
too much.
Yeah, well, I mean, you were also way late. It's not like you were watching it every week. So, I mean, that was a serialized show. So, yeah, maybe too much if you're sitting down and watching it every day. Yeah. But I honestly, okay, so I agree with you. I think here's a pitch. I think it would be cool when you have a property like Into the Spider-Verse, or you have a bunch of potential spinoffs. I think it would actually be cool, instead of doing a bunch, just do one movie with multiple short stories, an anthology style, right? Or even just do
Predator.
The anthology where the other Spider-Men are Easter eggs in the background. So, yeah, so you do a quick little thing, kind of like Killer of Killers, Predator, but more so, even more isolated, and maybe not even tying some of them together. You know, that would be fun.
I would like that.
The other thing that I have to say is, in the future, when Jeff Bezos and Mark Zuckerberg inevitably own everything in the world, we can eventually have Spider-Man 2099 with Batman Beyond. So that would be cool crossover. That only could happen if there's a hegemonic government put in place, because Google Apple Prime has become a real thing.
Speaking of
Google
Batman
Apple
Beyond, you just made me really sad. Did you know, and you can find this on YouTube, anybody listening, there is leaked concept of a Batman Beyond style movie in the vein, in the style of Spider-Verse.
Hell yeah.
And I'm so mad at Sony canceled it.
That's
or
so
whoever
lame.
did it. It wasn't Sony, whoever it was.
Warner Brothers.
Yeah. Batman Beyond is such an awesome fucking concept that
Yep.
they have not touched on.
That was one of the best shows.
Like, dude, when they were like, Michael Keaton's coming back as Batman, I was like, oh, cool, we're getting Batman Beyond. That makes sense. Like, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah,
No,
he
he's
could have been the awesome Bruce Wayne
70
who kicks
fighting
butt
Zod
still.
in Supergirl or whatever.
So dumb.
Anyways.
Anyway,
last bit of
moving
news.
on.
We finally got around because we were just so excited. We could not wait. We just had to know how good War of the Worlds starring Ice Cube was.
We did.
And it turns out it's at 100% on Rotten. Wait, move my thumb. 0% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, this movie's bad, man. I know that. So we're covering it on Magnum Opus soon.
Sure are.
You convinced me to watch it, even though
told you to
I
watch it.
prefer not to watch bad things. But here we are.
You've hitched your wagon to a bad movie channel, Bubba.
It's
Baby.
bad.
Whoa.
Lo and behold, it's bad. And other
did you-
people think so too. It's at 0% on Rotten Tomatoes, and I totally understand why. And if you want to know why, just watch our video that comes out in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
All right.
And what's yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
I don't have anything to say about
That's
it
it.
because it's just
It's bad. That's it.
so bad.
It's a bad movie.
It's a giant ad for Tesla and Amazon.
We watched it so you don't have to.
That's the tagline, baby.
Yep.
Here's something you should watch.
Yes.
Weapon.
Yeah. Odie Matthews at the
Movies.
That's right.
Odie Matthews at the movies.
Weapons. So we went and saw Weapons this week. All right. So let's do it right off the rip. Just garbage, bad,
Great.
fun, good, or great. It's great. Yeah, right.
great.
Certified greatness.
Certified
baby.
great.
There it is. UnPop certified greatness. Weapons, directed by Zach Cregger. Famously an old member of Whitest Kids You Know. Don't look it up if you don't have a really wide array for a sense of humor. That show was.
Yeah,
that show
it's
might
something.
not end up aging well, but Zach Cregger
I don't think it's gonna age well at all. But
from
that's
Whitest.
okay.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like Zach Cregger's gonna get attached to like a Disney property in the future, and then someone's gonna go, "Why did you do that?" We have to immediately fire him now.
He's not gonna go to Disney. Not when he's making movies like
I'm
this
kidding.
and Barbarian.
I'm kidding. Like.
I'm kidding.
I'm talking about the James Gunn thing, you know, like
Oh,
they're
right,
gonna be
right,
like,
right.
oh, immediately they're gonna be like, you didn't learn your lesson with James Gunn. But Disney, you should hire Zach Cregger because this movie's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I love Zach Cregger is the second of like I'm interested to see if we have this in the future, like Jordan Peele sketch comedy into horror, right? Zach Cregger sketch comedy into horror like way later, but maybe Jordan Peele like opened that door and made these guys who were sketch comedy guys go, oh wait, maybe I could do that.
You know, I think that's true. Also, I really need to say this because it's bothering me.
Yeah.
The movie Him that's coming out later, that is not directed by Jordan Peele. Everybody
Produced.
keeps saying it's a Jordan Peele movie. He just produced it.
Yeah.
Please don't take credit away from a director who actually put work into
Who
that.
is the director?
It's not a Jordan Peele movie. You know, I said that and then I didn't even have the name of it. It's a new director. That's why. He's a newer guy.
That's
so,
cool.
Hang on, I can
That's
get it right.
cool. So
I can
Jordan
get it right here.
Peele
I was
got
just looking at
behind
it.
someone else's vision.
Justin Tipping.
Okay, cool. I'm in.
He's only done like I don't recognize anything. He's brand new. Like.
Yeah.
So, anyways.
Him looks like a Faustian tale of celebrity
awesome.
and so. Yeah. But these guys they're approaching horror in a very different way. Even if Jordan Peele's just producing on that one, it looks like a Jordan Peele movie. You
And
know
that's
what I'm
what I
saying?
love.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like, and maybe that's part of the reason why. Maybe they got him. Maybe it wasn't him backing this guy. Maybe it was them going to him and going, "Hey, we're doing this movie. This is a new director. He wants to do it kind of in your style and would like you attached." You know. But anyway, so Zach Cregger wrote this movie Weapons, and Odie, what's the plot without any spoilers?
Oh, I'm sorry. Before we do the plot, can I tell you why Zach Cregger? I'm sorry.
Zach
it's early
Cregger,
for me.
bagging
I
your
cannot
groceries.
I cannot speak today.
Are you looking
Holy
for
shit.
some alcohol? We got Daniel Kahlúa over there.
I'm like 0 for 50 so far on things I've tried to say. I tried to say baby and I called you Bubba.
Welcome
I've
to
never
Zach
called anybody
Kroger's.
Bubba in my life.
Welcome to Zach Kroger's. All of our groceries have some form
dude.
of horrific social commentary attached to them.
So Zach Cregger
Yes.
wrote this movie, and we'll get into themes and stuff, into spoilers, but
Yeah.
He wrote this movie while he was in post-production on Barbarian, and his best friend died.
Oh,
and
God.
So he wrote this as a way to deal with the grief, and apparently, like, it was very therapeutic, and I loved it. I took a page out of your book. I watched some interviews of him, and
Good.
he was saying that he basically took a page from Stephen King's book, and he was like, when you're writing a horror story, it's kind of like you're an archaeologist getting a dinosaur bone, and you get one bone, you're like, oh, this is what this is, so what's the next piece? And you don't really see the full picture until you have the whole thing uncovered. And he was like, I had 17 kids go missing. Well, how do they go missing? And what happens? And like he kind of was like explaining the process. And I love a lot of the themes in this, and I think grief is definitely in there. But I honestly, when I saw that interview, I was kind of surprised, like, oh, you wrote this because your best friend died. Like, that's a very it's an interesting starting point to get to a movie like this.
Yeah.
But I thought that was really wholesome because I just wanted to let you know that if you ever pass away,
You'll
I'll
write
write
a
a
movie.
really good horror movie in your honor.
Great. That's amazing. I hope you do, and I hope it's also about kids going missing. I wrote this movie in honor of my friend. 17 kids went missing.
The plot.
The plot.
17 kids go missing. The end. No.
That's it. We never find out why.
If you saw the original teaser trailer for this, which this is the only thing I saw. Well, not the original teaser trailer. There's like the 40-second teaser, and then there was like a 1.5-minute trailer, and that trailer starts with a girl saying, "This is a true story. In my town, it was a day just like any other, except that this day, it wasn't like just any other." And basically, 17 kids one night all ran out of their house at 2:17 in the morning for no rhyme or reason, just into the dark, arms out like little airplanes, and one kid's left in the classroom, and everyone thinks the teacher who's new to the town might be behind it, and people are angry, and what's going to happen? Well, you're going to find out.
Well, you got to watch the
can't say
movie to
much
find
else.
out. Yeah.
This is a hard movie to talk about without spoilers.
When I saw, so the trailer kind of gives you the full setup, right? Like,
Yeah.
These kids go missing. It's 2:17 in the morning. Would you think, like, there's so much in the trailer that's like, okay, is that significant? What is the significance of that? And then you find out in the movie that it's just like that's just the time. Like, but the big thing that, like, when I first saw the trailer, I'm like, why are all those kids Naruto running?
I love
out
that.
of their
Dude, that's
houses?
creepy, dude.
It is creepy. And they just seem to be going in random directions. But so great job with the plot. Let's move into spoilers. Turns out they all ran to one place.
Yes. Well, I wanted to say this, too.
Yeah.
One of the things that I really liked about this movie, and I actually saw people complaining about it, but I think this is just where I'm at with slow burn horror movies, because I would consider this a little bit of a slow burn. It's like 2 hours and 15 minutes, and it takes a little bit for things to really get going, but things are still being revealed.
Wait, people are complaining about this movie's pace?
Apparently, okay, so some of the complaints I saw on, now granted this was Reddit, but I was looking the night after I saw the movie, and some people are saying, it feels like there's a lot of, like, plot holes because this thing happens and nothing happens with it. And I'm like, well, I think, like, 2:17 not really being significant is kind of nice.
That's
I like
not
that,
a plot hole. They show you
because
what time it was.
But, like, when you find out why it's at 2:17, it's not like some big 2:17, if you add 2 + 1 + 3 = 10, and 10 was the number. Like,
yeah,
it's just
like,
a time.
I feel like if that was part of the plot, I would like this less.
Well, and that's one of my favorite things about this movie is I feel like the things that happen, sometimes things happen in this movie just because that's how they would happen in real life, but that doesn't mean they're significant.
Yeah.
And I loved that.
Okay, so in order to properly get into spoilers, let me ask you this question. Did you think, and I will tell you my answer to it as well, did you think that this was a movie about a witch?
No.
Okay, I did, but
Really?
it's only because it was only kids that were running out of their houses, and we've got, like, Hocus Pocus. Like, we've had that movie where, like, part of the plot was that they entranced children, and that also leans into, like, old mythology, and Zach Cregger's Barbarian leans into, like, general commentary that tend to dip into, like, the past. And so, like, when it was just kids running, I was like, as I was, like, throwing out ideas in my head for what it could be about, I'm like, oh, it might be like a Baba Yaga type thing, like an old Scandinavian witch story. And it actually, and I'll get into this more later, it actually turns out he is drawing a ton from old witch tales, like
Yeah,
old
he really
folklore,
is.
and not just American folklore, but like Eastern European folklore.
I thought from the trailer, I thought one of two things. I thought it was either going to be some kind of like demonic entity that was with the kid that was not taken,
Which
like-
would have
like
been
something to
dumb
do
because
with
we
that.
have the Babadook and stuff already.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like I kind of thought maybe it was like a bully kind of thing where like because you see like those kids bully him and stuff. So I was like, oh, maybe like he made a deal with like an entity and like he's the kid's behind it all. Or
Which would have been
I thought
fine.
it was going to be some because Zach Cregger is doing Resident Evil. I thought maybe this was going to be some kind of like zombie light kind of story, which it kind of is in a very 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 small way.
I mean, no, it's they're no, they're puppeteered.
The way they run,
They're cursed is what it's a curse. So
yeah, it's a curse,
Yeah.
a curse possession, maybe.
It's a spell, but specifically okay. So full spoilers for the plot. Turns out that this kid, Sam Lilly, right? Alex Lilly, who was in Miss Candy's classroom. Candy, right?
Here, I got you.
Miss-
You got okay. Here's the cast real quick. Josh Brolin plays Archer Graff,
Great
who
job.
is one of the He's one of the fathers of
Yep.
one of the kids that goes missing. I fucking love Josh Brolin. I will never not love Josh Brolin. Oh my god. Julia Garner, who's in fucking incredible, is Justine Gandy, who's the new teacher.
Yep.
Alden Ehrenreich is the police officer Paul, and then we have Austin Abrams, who plays the drug addict kid named James.
Yep.
And then Benedict Wong is the principal, Marcus, and then you've got a bunch of side people. Justin Long is in this for one scene, which I really fucking
that was a
appreciated.
nice
I was like,
cameo. I was like,
dude, that
wait,
made me happy.
it's that guy.
I was like, hey, Barbarian.
But not.
yeah.
He's not that guy from Barbarian. He's just a
No.
disturbed father who's very shaken up to see. I would be shaken up if angry Josh Brolin was approaching me too. So and I would also give him anything he wants. So this story, Alex Lilly he's in this as the story unravels, and I like the way that it. First off, I like the way it unfolded. I love the way that they told this story, giving you a little bit and kind of. It was like it
This is a
reminded
perspective
me
film.
of some of the horror stories that I've read, where you get done with some person's perspective and it ties in a little bit more of the horror, and it just keeps building the tension until inevitably you have like the culminative culminative action moment of the story where everything's happening. It's all coming into view. I really like how this story did that in little pieces, and each chapter is one of the main characters.
And I actually recently read a horror, or not a horror, it was a thriller mystery book where you're following the main character, and then every chapter you'd switch to some mystery person's perspective, and then after that chapter you'd switch to another character that you already know's perspective, and then they
that's
all kind
cool.
of like meet. And I love stories that do that and this is the thing that Nate and I were talking about when we got in the movie, usually those stories are really hard to pull off in movie form.
Yes.
But this is probably one of my favorite examples of, because this movie does a really good job when you follow the different perspectives. It gets you to a certain point where something is like coming to a tipping point.
Yep.
And then it takes you to another character's perspective that ties into it.
Yep.
And I think a big theme in this movie is perspective on situations. And
Yeah.
I want to talk about the themes kind of at the end because I have 3 that
Okay.
I noticed.
Yep.
And I also want to talk about what Zach Cregger has said about the themes because I think it's a very Quentin Tarantino style answer.
Oh, cool. So no, this movie it did a really good job weaving the stories together. But you got this kid, Alex Lilly, and as it would turn out, his aunt has moved into town. Let me ask you a second question. Do you think that's actually his aunt, or do you think she lied?
Okay, so we had this conversation a lot.
Okay.
And I think
You and Nate did.
yes.
Okay. Do
I
you think that's actually his aunt, or do you think it's someone who is posing as his aunt and then shows up and just like takes over the household? Because she's a witch.
my gut is telling me that she's not.
Yeah.
Because there's a throwaway line from Alex's mom who says she has no other family, which would imply that the mom's family has passed away. So there would be no way to verify.
Yeah.
So it'd be really easy for someone to pretend like that.
Well, okay, so here's the thing. In the cast, and the only reason we know that it's actually her sister is because Amy, what's her name? Amy Madigan, who plays Gladys,
Lily.
is Gladys. It's Lily. So the last name's actually there. So, but other than that, like, had they just put Aunt Gladys, I would be like, oh no, that wasn't their aunt. Like, there's no way. You know, like, I would be like, oh no, that's a witch who's just like trying to make her way. But also, they do a really good job of like giving you the information that you need. Like, you know that she's very old. You don't know how old. You know, like, you know that like she's come from somewhere. You don't know where. You know that like she doesn't fit and she's a witch. You don't know where she was. Like, it doesn't like. And this is maybe where I think people are used to being like spoon-fed everything. You know, like, I feel like if this was a Conjuring film, then the detective work would be them going, oh my God, she's been in America for 200 years. You know, and like, but then you put a number on it and you're like, movies like that, and sure, people love The Conjuring, whatever. I think they ruin the horror with the explanation. Like, cause
over-explaining. Yeah.
Because the whole idea is the more we understand about the monster, the less scary that it is, you know? So, like, with this, not understanding as much of her creates the tension that you need that leads up all the way to my favorite moment of the film that we'll get into later. But, like, but it does a really great job of not answering all of the questions succinctly and not over-explaining anything. It's just kind of like, hey, this weird thing's happening. And so at first, like, the first person that we see is Julia Garner's character. We see Mrs. Gandy, right? So Justine's character and, like, how the world looks from her perspective. And, like, very obviously she has nothing to do with these kids disappearing. Nothing. Literally nothing to do with the kids disappearing. Other than maybe she, like, didn't catch, like, the weird fact that Alex had grabbed every kid's nameplate off of their of their little cubby. Like, I was like, you wouldn't notice that? Come on. Like, that's maybe the one moment that I was like, okay, you're a bad teacher. Like,
well, she doesn't have it all together. Well, hang on. Let's back up for 1 second because I want to get this part of the way so we can talk
hard
freely.
To talk about in order. Like,
it is. So let's just
jump around.
Let's talk about like what the big point is. So basically, the aunt comes in and she uses witchcraft and stuff, which we'll get into, to get all these kids to come to Alex's house.
Well, first she's trying to suck the life out of the parents.
Well,
very obviously she's trying to suck the life out of them while they're alive, right?
But basically the kids go to the basement of Alex's house, and when the cops come to investigate, they obviously like stage it to look okay. And I mean, the cops are stupid because Alex's parents are under her spell.
Yeah.
And, like, she's like, well, he had a stroke and he can't talk. And it's like, he picked up Alex from school the day before you arrived. That's weird. But anyways.
He also has a bunch of fork stabs in his face.
That's where oh, God. That's where the kids go, right? So that's, the whole thing. And that's the whole, point is that she is using these kids. Now, let me ask you this, because this was my question, and Nate had a different answer than I was expecting.
Yeah.
Do you think that she's been doing this for a while successfully?
Oh,
or do you think that this is one of her? I feel like she's new at this.
No, I feel like she's been doing this because she does mention that she's very old. So I'm like, oh, this is just she's trying to continue to do this. And I think
here's my question.
Yeah,
because she's supposed to be the mom's older sister.
Yeah,
right. And when she shows up, she's old enough to be the mom, really. And the reason why I think that she hasn't done this yet is because she is really old, but she's not so old that her sister is questioning it. And because she tried to siphon the life out of Alex's parents first and it didn't work, and she's like, well, I need kids.
Yeah.
And she had the kids for 30 days. We know that. And they were still alive. She still looked old.
She still couldn't do it.
I like to think, and this is just me, but I like to think that maybe like this is something that she hasn't really figured out how to do, because she's like, well, I need kids now.
Okay.
Like,
I
feel
like
she's
that theory.
Kind of figuring it out as she goes. Like, she has the plant, but like sometimes she uses hair, sometimes she uses ribbon for people. Like,
well, that's the thing. She shows up knowing these spells. She shows up like with some witch accoutrement, right? And like there are some moments where she's obviously successfully using other forms of witchcraft. Because, like, she is appearing in random places and haunting people before they even meet her in their dreams, you know? Like, so there's a lot going on where I'm like, oh, no, she's a witch. She's been a witch. She is a witch. I like your theory. I like that, like, the idea that she's new to this kind of makes sense, but I also think, like, maybe it's just that she should, like, she's old and it's, like, not working as well, and, like, you know, like, who knows? But, like,
or maybe she's been a witch her entire life, and this is a new spell that she hasn't figured out how to master.
Yeah, but I like that you don't have to answer it. In my mind, she's been around for a long time, and she's done this successfully before, and that's why, like, in the beginning, you get the nice explanation of, like, no one will ever tell you exactly what happened, but they know, you know, like.
Well, and that's another reason why I'm like, that's why I don't think she's actually the sister, because if she had been doing it for a while, I don't know. Either way, the point is that I like that this movie makes you ask questions that it doesn't have to answer.
Yeah, and you can kind of, like, craft it in your head yourself, like, what you think makes sense based on what you know about witch lore. The I do like, and where the movie confirmed even before we had seen Gladys that this was a witch based movie, is when they initially start talking about, like, parasites, relationships, like, things like that. Like we, before we had even fully met Gladys as a character, there's a couple moments where they talk about parasites, and I was like,
It's on the TV
life
stuff.
essence.
Yeah.
Well, so, not just that. That's what they're talking about in the classroom too, because like Mrs. Candy is like, "Hey, who can name a parasite?" You know, like, so. I was like, "Oh, classic! Like, this is Baba Yaga. This is Eastern European witch lore. This is like because the lore is always that witches, as they get older, will suck the life essence out of people younger than them in order to in order to stay young, satiate their need to perpetuate their life, you know, things like that. So really, really good. And the way that it all unfolds, because nobody in this town has, like, and this is another really good thing about this movie. Nobody in this town is like, oh, my fixation just happens to be witches. Like, no one's prepared for this at all. And I love that too. It's really good because it makes it so that everyone's genuinely shocked, surprised, taken advantage of. You know, like, there's so much happening all at once that feels very day to day for the town. Like the whole, like, drug junkie plot is like, yeah, of course the junkie's the guy who snuck into that. Yeah, it's just perfect. So, like, I'll run through the plots real quick because I think they were good. Mrs. Gandy, we get that she hooks up with a cop. She's drinking in order to cope. She maybe has had a drinking problem before. We see that when she first grabs a couple of bottles of vodka. She convinces this cop guy to sleep over at her place, and then she gets followed into the store, and you're like, is it a parent? Is it the witch? Who's following her? And it turns out that it's like some lady who's really mad that she slept with this. Yeah, it's Donna, who's been trying to get in touch with Paul.
Who is the police chief's daughter, dating a police officer, Paul, played by Alden Ehrenreich.
And she just starts dumping vodka on her. Like, she's like, look what you did. And you're like, whoa, that's wild. And then we move over to, who was the second person? Was it Josh Brolin?
So it goes from Justine to Archer.
Who was Josh Brolin?
Josh Brolin, who's a construction company owner,
and
parent.
He's not taking it well that his son disappeared, but boy, is his wife going to work.
It's her.
Yeah. But so his wife goes to work, and we never see her again. And then we get to see from his perspective. He's like, he can't order the right things for his job site because they're doing framework on a new house. He ordered the wrong paint. He didn't order the siding on time. He's very distracted. Like, it shows that, like, this is consuming him, and he needs to start solving it. We also see the paint in the back of his car that was used to paint witch on the side of Justine's car.
He called it from the beginning.
Did he do it? Or, yeah. Well, and that's a really nice thing, too, is, like, when that was painted on her car, it was like, oh, that's what the thing is. Like,
and see, I love that I didn't know that.
That was cool.
And his whole plot is really the investigation. He hounds the police chief for information, and the police chief, I like the police chief's like, hey, I get it. If I was in your shoes, I'd be here too. But I don't have any answers for you. So then he starts putting pieces together, Justin Long cameo from Ring Doorbells. And he kind of puts together that the kids ran in a straight line.
Yeah. Well, and you know what's interesting is, like, they didn't do the classic trope of the police being incompetent, right? They were just like, look, the cops are fucking busy. The feds are on this. There's healthy communication. Like, he's like, listen, like, he's very calm. He's like, everything that we're doing is all protocol. We're doing all the right things. We sent out manhunts. It's been a month. We're still trying to figure it out. But we have other stuff to do, and then I would say the only people that are painted as incompetent maybe are the FBI agents, right? Because they show up and they ask these questions, and Gladys clearly looks fucking weird. But if she's a witch, then in isolated scenarios, she would have the upper hand anyway. Because she might be casting some sort of a glimmer. Like, we don't know, and we don't have to know that either, because that doesn't serve the plot.
There's also, and since we're talking about the police chief, that's kind of like all of Archer's plot is like he thinks it's Justine, and we'll get to that in a second, but
yes,
we go to Paul's perspective at one point.
Okay.
The
quick thing about Archer's though, he has so Justine has a weird dream about Gladys and gets up and is like, "What the fuck?" Like Gladys is in her dream and she looks like a clown lady at first.
Well, it's the makeup.
Yeah. So the makeup looks fucked up, and then Archer. What I love though is Archer has the same dream and she shows up in it, and he wakes up and he goes, "What the fuck?" Like
that was the funniest line. That was the second funniest moment of the movie.
I was like, that is the proper response to having a dream.
Dude,
like
my whole theater laughed, and so did we. I was like,
I did too. I was like,
his
like,
delivery, everything, because that's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, because I would say that too. It's very relatable.
Totally.
But we get his plot all the way up to the point where he starts drawing the map and figuring out that the kids were running in the same direction, which makes sense because as someone who has maps of every neighborhood who does construction and shit, you would start figuring that out. Like, and you would be like anxious to try to find where your son is. So yeah, very believable. And then we move to Paul, right? We move to
and one of my favorite details about the Paul thing, because basically in a lot of these you see like kind of the same scene almost twice, but from a different angle.
Yes,
sometimes
we get that.
So Paul,
in every single story, we get the same scene from a different angle.
I
not
really,
the same exact scene either. It's a different scene for each one, but we get the same scene from a different angle.
Same moment, kind of. His is basically he has a run-in with the junkie James and tells him to stay away.
Yep.
He commits some police brutality with the cameras off, so that becomes an issue and everything. Mm-hmm. He's clearly struggling with either drugs or alcohol addiction because meetings are hinted at. He doesn't want to have a drink with Justine at the bar when he goes. He's not the best dude, but it's kind of clear maybe he's trying. His story, he's dating the police chief's daughter.
Yeah.
And I just kind of want to jump for a second because
I
saw somebody complain about this on Reddit, and I was like, I don't know, I think this makes sense. He goes to investigate Alex's house, right, with his cop car, with the junkie in the backseat.
Yep.
And so he goes in the house and obviously gets possessed. And
not possessed, cursed. He gets cursed.
Thank you. I'm gonna cursed. He gets cursed, and it's daytime. And then we time jump, and it's night, and and James is still in the car.
Yes.
We see Paul take James into the house.
Yes.
And then the next day, Josh Brolin and Julia Gardner showed up to the house, right?
Yes.
So we know his cop car has been parked out there for at least like 24 hours.
Oh, yeah.
And I love that the police chief, nobody was like, why hasn't Paul come back from his shift? Because he just cheated on your daughter, so obviously he wouldn't fucking care about him.
Well, and before we get that, so there's like multiple story endings, and what's happened with the plot so far is like at the end of Justine's, we get like this moment where her hair gets snipped, right? Like there's that creepy moment where the lady walks out of the house with the scissors, all like freaking out, and then snips her hair, and that's the end of that. And then the end of Josh Brolin's, she's getting attacked by the principal.
Marcus.
Yeah, the principal Marcus, played by fucking what's his
name?
Wong. Benedict Wong, absolutely phenomenal. So you're like, both times you're like, what the fuck is going on? Because like when that lady walks out with the scissors, you're like, oh my god, she's gonna stab her, and then she gets in and just like very calmly snips her hair, And like,
well, I was just saying that I think that the police not questioning why somebody didn't come back or why their cruiser is still parked out of there would normally be a plot hole. But the fact that police officer was in trouble, the police chief obviously was mad at him. Like we got that very clearly. Like, I think that's why they don't care where he went.
Yeah, 100%.
Like that's all what I was getting at, is because I just wanted to get to that because that was something I really thought about, and I really liked it because even Nate was like, I don't understand why they didn't like look for him, and I was like, I don't know, like he turned off his camera, like people, like he was kind of in hot water, like it kind of makes sense to me. But let's jump back to perspectives. I just kind of wanted to, because Paul's stories, I liked his a lot.
Paul's is good. I do like where Paul's goes, but we don't see that ending where like his car's parked there until we get James's story, because it goes Paul then James, and at the end of Paul's there's a couple like weird moments in Paul's, but you're more so getting more layout of like who the characters are. Like his story is used to like
his ends when he sees James out front of the police station.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, and he's like, you motherfucker. But then we move to James, and of course James is like a junkie. And, like, nobody's going to listen to a junkie. And you get very quickly, like, no one's listening to him. Like, he's like, hey, I got a job. And while he's saying that, he's, like, checking to see if cars are unlocked and robbing things and, like, trying to pawn things. And then he goes into this house. He sees the newspaper on the windows. At first, I'm like, why is he going in there? And, like, oh, he sees the newspaper on the windows, so he thinks it's condemned or empty. And then he goes in, and it's, like, fuck. Like, he sees multiple times we get the jump scare of the parents just sitting on the couch.
Terrifying.
Like completely possessed, not moving, not doing
Catatonic.
anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then each time they get up at one point, you know, so as they, well, not each time, but like the second time we see it, they get up and they start going after James as he's like running out of the house. He's like, what the fuck? But he got all that silverware and stuff, and then he goes to like cash it in, and you get like his day to day. You get how fucked up it is. And
yeah.
He's a junkie. He lies to Paul. Paul finds the needle in his pocket. Paul punches him in the face. You know, so like Paul literally rages out, and that's what creates the real trouble that he's having. Is like, not only did he cheat on the police chief's daughter, he punched this guy in the face. It's on camera. Like, there's a whole mess of stuff where the police chief is like, I'm fucking sick of you. And then we move like through James's story where obviously no one's gonna listen to him, and we get like him getting chased down by Paul. And we see Gladys in the woods. I really like how that was done. I like how, like...
That was terrifying.
He gets away from him, and then, like, Gladys is just out there, like, waving, like, hi, I'm here for you. And then he stabs Paul in the face again with needles because, like, Paul's trying to hunt him down. And then we move on to the teacher, and we finally start getting, like, oh, this is what's going on here. And, like...
Yeah.
So when we move to Benedict Wong's character, Andrew... we finally start seeing like, oh, this is and the thing that I really liked about this is where the movie starts using the themes and the setting and the music all together. Because before we get kind of like eerie sounds, like little violin strokes and stuff like that are like they give you like the scary sound. In this scene, when Gladys goes into the house. First off, she looks fucking weird. Second, she asks to be invited in, which I was like, this is interesting that they're doing this whole thing where she's asking permission to come into the house. But I'm like, oh, she's just disarming them. Like I thought about it later. But she comes in, she asks for a bowl of water. She's like, oh, I'd love a bowl instead of a cup. And it's like, wait, what? And Andrew and his husband are slightly disarmed, but like really weirded out, right? And then she like takes the hair off Andrew, right? Doesn't she? She like takes the hair off Andrew, and
this was the thing I was curious about. And you're getting into like the way she uses her thorn tree. Yeah. So she needs a possession of the person that she wants to curse. But
turns out hair's great. That's the classic one.
But no, because she uses the hair of people to get the possessed or the cursed people to attack them. Because she had Justine's hair, and she had Marcus attack Justine. She had the husband's hair, and she had Marcus attack the husband. So
she doesn't. Okay, so she doesn't say the spell anytime, but it appears if there is different intentions, right? Because when she has someone's hair, like she needs a possession in order to do the curse at all. She needs a possession of that person to do the curse at all. And the curse is a form of possession, like she takes control of things. But I think it's also, in witchcraft, it has everything to do with intention. So although she's not, like, necessarily saying these spells out loud or anything, I think what's happening is she's pouring that intention of, like, you're going to go and attack this person. You know?
Because she uses her own blood, so I feel like that's got to be...
And it's not always to attack. Sometimes, like, the only time that we really see any form of, like, the ritual, we kind of see her making this come to me gesture later, and then that's during Alex's story when the kids leave their houses and run to her. you know?
Yeah.
Which was really her undoing, because that's what tips Josh Brolin off. He's like, wait, they're all going the same direction, you know?
Man, I feel like this movie's really hard to talk about without it being confusing. If you've seen the movie, you know exactly what we're talking about. If you haven't, this probably sounds like
you know
nonsense.
what? How about this? In order to make it make more sense, 30 seconds, here's everything in order. Gladys shows up and starts trying to siphon life off of Alex's parents, and it's not working. Gladys shows Alex very carefully and quickly that she is a huge threat by making his dad and mom stab themselves in the face at her will to demonstrate her witchly powers.
Disturbing.
Alex, completely shocked, just starts doing whatever she says, which at that point was just live life normally.
He's like 9, so it makes sense.
And then she comes to him and says, hey, Alex, I actually can't do what I wanted to do with your parents, but if you can get me a possession from each of your classmates, I'll figure out how to do it, and then I'll fucking leave. And Alex is like, please do. I'll go get all of their name tags. Also, they're not that nice to me anyway. So then she summons all the kids to her, and that's where the real plot of the movie starts. As people are investigating it, we get these little tidbits until we eventually get like the big culminating moment where we see her spell work for the first time in the movie on Andrew, who then bashes his husband's head into death. And then she sicks him on what's his name? Justine. Now, this is where I think the attack spell and the just regular possession spell are different, because when she does the possession spell, it involves breaking the stick, right? But then the attack spell involves the bell. So like
that's true. I forgot about the bell and the
to
bell
release
is when she drops it in the water.
Yes, and the bell is a 6 with a triangle an upside down triangle next to it, and I think that's just, you can read into it if you want, demonic, whatever, doesn't matter, who cares? But like, it doesn't matter. But
you're totally right.
But so the way that the bell is used, I think, is absolutely phenomenal. So like, Andrew goes to attack, is hit by a vehicle. And that's
I love that moment, by the way.
It was great.
Did not see it coming.
Well, because he's just running in a straight line at his target, right? And that's where the name of the movie comes from. Is they were weaponized, right? Like and there kind of is that theme, and we see like the weird like assault rifle over Josh Brolin's house.
What was that, by the way? That's my question.
I think I have no idea. Actually, I'm just like, that's just like a weird like. You
want to know what I think it is?
What?
I think it's okay. So. Well, when we get to themes, I'll expand on it more. But I think it's my initial thought was the house is the gun and the kid is the bullet.
I guess so. I don't know.
But it still doesn't make a lot of sense.
It doesn't. It doesn't need to. But like,
it doesn't.
So then we get all the way to like the big culminating moment. Everyone's kind of figuring out who she is. She tells Alex, "Hey, we have to leave." She says, "We have to leave tomorrow.
Pack your things.
Don't step over the salt line." And then we get to the big culminating action moment of the movie where Justine and Archer have teamed up in the wake of her being attacked by Andrew, the principal.
Teaming up, by the way,
was
that
great.
Natural, like, I love that the entire time Archer, Josh Brolin's like, this teacher had something to do with it, and then she's pumping gas.
Yep.
Marcus and Benedict Wong's character,
Andrew.
They call him Marcus and Andrew. Marcus is his last name.
Oh, okay.
They call him Marcus because he's Principal Marcus. That's why I kept calling him Marcus.
Oh, Principal Marcus, yeah.
Andrew Marcus. We all know who I'm talking about. But, he attacks her at the gas station.
Yeah.
Josh Brolin kind of helps by, like, trying to fend him off. She ultimately drives away. That's when he gets hit by the car. Josh Brolin goes after her, and then he's like, okay, you didn't have anything to do with this, clearly. Because he's like, I've seen that running before.
Yeah.
My kid did it. Something's up. And I love that he's like, he's not, like, I love the natural, like, flip for him.
Yeah.
So good.
Well, because he's piecing it together, and then when he sees the run, he like pauses before he gets in his truck to chase him down. He's like, oh wait, I know that fucking run.
He has that moment
this is weird.
What the fuck?
And then she gives him the information he needed. That's Alex's house, right? So then they put it together like, oh, something with the house, but they don't know what. And they show up, and sure enough, there's a salt line. And I really like how this scene begins. So like, we've explained the plot. We've gotten into some of the themes. We can wrap it up after this, but I love this scene in particular because they walk in, and we, as the audience, know, one, junkie guy's in there, and he's been possessed, right? 2, Paul is in there. He's been possessed. He actually comes out and beckons them inside, right?
That
in
was
a very
so funny.
And what's good about it is like when they show that someone's been possessed, they have like very puppet-like motions. Like
Yeah,
it's not
I love that.
they're not fluid. Like they're very clearly being puppeted. That's the best way I can say it. Puppeteered by
Definitely.
something, right? So they go inside, and then we've already seen Alex get the warning, don't step over the salt line. And then we get why you don't step over the salt line, because as soon as Julia Garner's character Justine does, they get attacked by Paul and by the junkie James, respectively. And what I love about this scene is like you've got the tension building with Alex. So we got 3 things happening at once. We got Alex who's like contemplating, okay, how the fuck do I get out of this scenario, right? Like, and you can see him, he's like trying to think on his bed, and he's like,
he's
okay,
upstairs, and everybody else is downstairs. Well, his parents, and Gladys are upstairs.
Yeah.
Paul, James, Justine, and Archer are downstairs.
and his parents
Kids are in
are
the basement.
right on the other side of the salt line. Gladys is apparently in her room, and then he's in his room, and then downstairs we've got Justine, Archer, Paul, and James. And when Justine steps over the salt line, Paul and James attack her and Archer, and her fight scene with with Paul seems very threatening. Like he's a cop, he's strong, he's like, she's a small teacher lady, he's like overpowering her, she's using the peeler on his face, he's bleeding. Like,
that was horrible.
that
to
was
watch, by the way.
great and horrible at the same time.
Yeah.
Josh Brolin's fight, however, is funnier
because
because
kid around.
it's a little junky
WWE
kid,
style.
but it shows. What's really great is it highlights the relentlessness of the spell, the curse, right? Because he keeps getting back up and screaming and coming after him, even though he keeps getting thrown and knocked out and things like that. And then inevitably, Justine gains the upper hand, shoots both of them in the head. Thank you, Justine, for getting that over
I like the
with.
way that she kills Paul, where she shoots him in the neck first, and he's bleeding out the hole, and he's still trying to strangle her.
Oh, yeah.
And then she's like, all right, headshot.
I also like how quickly that happens. Like, she just puts it together. She's not an idiot about it. She shoots him in the neck. She doesn't, like, cry over it. She's like, nope, okay, I don't want to die.
This is like her fuck buddy at best, it seemed like.
I also love that
maybe she kind of liked.
I also love that gun beats magic. You know, like, that's
Oh, yeah,
that's
dude.
a really good moment.
Have you seen that edit of Harry Potter with guns where it's like, I think we can even, and then someone just pulls out a gun and is like, bang, 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 bang.
Yeah, gun beats magic. And then, so she kills both of them. Josh Brolin goes down into the basement, and Justine stays upstairs, now, like, coping with the trauma of having shot Paul and shot this guy she's never met before, this junkie guy.
Yeah.
And then when Archer's down in the basement, we get, like, the classic creepy scene of, like, flashlight on, lights are off. Oh, it's all the kids that have been in the basement the entire time from the class. And, like, he's just looking for his son, right? And eventually comes across Gladys, who's, like, completely hunched over, in a nightgown, in her most ugly state.
I would punch right.
And she just screams and jumps at him, obviously gets the upper hand, and obviously gets like a piece of his hair or something and runs away, right? And like, or however it happens, you don't need to know because it happens off screen. But then, and like, I know, like, what's great about this is you know it's gonna happen, right? And like, meanwhile, all this is happening. Alex is upstairs. He steps over the salt line. His parents go to attack him. He then...
And they chase him like The Shining. They keep breaking down doors.
Well, and we've seen earlier in the film that, like, his bedroom links via a bathroom over to Gladys's room. So then he locks his door. His parents are busting down that door. He then moves into the bathroom, locks that door. Then moves through the bathroom into Gladys's room, locks that door. So his parents are trying to bust down each of these doors to, like, get through to him, and they don't have anything, and they're puppets, and, like, they're just rage-controlled puppets, so they're just, like, bashing their head and punching it and stuff like that. And he gets into Gladys's room, and he has a rudimentary understanding of, like, how her magic works, right?
Yeah,
so,
he's carefully watching a little bit.
Yeah, and so, like, and he's seen her do the spell a couple times, like, and he's seen, so, and he knows the bell, too, so, like, what I love about this scene is you see him look at the tree, you see the stick with all the kids' possessions on it. You like, and so all this stuff is happening, and then Josh Brolin's character Archer comes upstairs to attack Justine. And you're like, oh shit, wow, this is really going different now. And Gladys comes upstairs and she's doing like the menacing witch thing. She's really reveling in everything. And then we get the final moment of the film. And I have to ask, Odie, were you prepared for the complete, like, this is the peak of the horror.
This is 28 years later.
So the peak of the horror is this moment where Josh Brolin's character is strangling Justine's, and the witch is there, and she has control over him, and the parents are trying to break down the door and kill their own kid, and this is the peak of the horror, and then everything shifts entirely. And I love the way that they did it because they brought the bell back. And the first time that the bell rings, when the bell rings, all of the sound shuts out of the film, and there's no movement. We go to a still shot of Andrew being possessed, right? Principal Marcus being possessed. We go to a still shot of it, and it shows like the actual horror of being possessed by something. The second time we get the bell in this nature, instead of it being a still shot, it zooms in on Gladys. And I'll let you continue to explain what happens with the movie here. Were you prepared for were you prepared for this too? Did you like how this ended?
Absolutely fucking not, dude. Just like the ending of 28 years later.
Okay.
This caught me by surprise, but I will say, just like the ending of 28 years later, I fucking loved this.
Yes.
Alex comes in clutch, which I think was a really nice way for his character to get not necessarily redemption, because I don't blame a 9-year-old for doing what he did.
I also don't blame a 9-year-old for caring more about
nice.
your parents than your stupid class, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to use redemption because from a moviegoer perspective, he is responsible.
Story-wise, it's a redemption moment, yes.
I don't blame him. But he has the stick with all the kids that are possessed.
Yep.
Puts a piece of Gladys's wig hair on it because it has to be possession.
Yep.
Snaps it. And 17 9-year-olds chase this old woman through the neighborhood, resulting in her getting literally torn apart by these kids.
The moment where the bell rings and the camera zooms in and she just goes, oh shit. Like, I laughed so fucking loud because I knew, like, and this is the best part about this movie. This movie ends with comedy, right? And it ends with comedy, and I mentioned this in the beginning. It's very Whitest Kids You Know, actually. Like, if you ever watched that show back in the day, like, this is something that would happen on that show. But
totally.
So it zooms in on Gladys. She goes, oh shit, and then you hear like the little pitter patter of these
coming up the stairs.
Yeah, coming up the stairs. But then you hear the screams, and then you see them, and then she starts running.
They break the door down.
And the next 3 minutes of the film are her running through multiple people's backyards in the morning.
And houses.
In the morning. And houses in the morning. The kids running behind her, smashing through windows, breaking down fences, absolutely wreaking havoc on this. So everything that was contained, and what I really love about this, the horror is contained in the house. Once the witch has left the house and has no control, it's a fucking comedy. And like,
dude, it totally is.
And you see like parents are like losing their minds. They're like, oh my God, what's going on? As this lady comes screaming through her house, and then 17 9-year-olds behind her. And I loved, this is probably my favorite shot of the entire film, is when we get that like Olympic level field day champion little girl POV shot, like right behind her, following her as she's the first to actually catch up with Gladys. Because like you see Gladys like take a turn and go through an actual door, and then you see the girl POV style jump through the window and like run and tackle her, and then the kids literally dismember
tear her apart
on the front lawn. Like, yep. And this like. And it all comes back to the beginning of like, oh, that's why nobody will talk about it. Like, Of course, nobody has any clue that she was a witch or that any of this shit was going on. They just saw 17 kids who had been missing for a month jump out onto someone's front lawn and rip a woman to shreds. And that's it.
And then Josh Brolin just casually walks through all of the carnage, and we get a great moment where a lady's like, "There's a man in our house."
Yeah,
it's like,
dude,
there was just 17 kids in here.
Like,
and he just walks out, picks up his kid, and just keeps on walking.
And and this is where like you kind of get like more unanswered questions, like, oh, are the kids fine, whatever. But like Alex kind of he does the voiceover and he goes, well,
no, it's not him.
Oh, it's not. Oh, it's a girl.
I looked it up. It's a kid we never meet.
Oh, cool. So it's a kid we never meet, and it's a girl or a boy.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a girl we never meet, and she just goes, Alex's parents are off somewhere being fed soup, but not by Alex. He's somewhere else.
And he's
happy
with a different
now.
aunt.
Yeah, he's with a different aunt, a much nicer one.
And
then,
some of the kids can talk now.
Yeah, and that's it. And like I was like, that's kind of the perfect ending. I don't need anything else.
Let me ask you this, because a complaint that Nate had, and I think it's valid, but my mind went a different direction. They were like, I don't understand why Josh Brolin snapped out of the curse right away, but the kids didn't. And I was like, well, I think it's a time thing, right? Like, the parents were under the longest, so that's probably why they're catatonic still.
Yes. Okay. This is actually, I was going to say this about this ending.
Yeah.
So other people I was leaving the theater, they had the same question. Specifically in Germanic folklore and some Eastern European folklore, the longer a witch's spell is on you, the longer it takes to come out of it. Like,
exactly.
And not only that, when it's draining your actual life essence, it's draining who you are as a person. And so some people who survive like horrible curses end up being catatonic anyway. Survival doesn't mean everything's good again in that folklore. And this is actually very similar to like the actual what I was trying to like think about what to compare to. It's similar to Baba Yaga. It's similar also to Hansel and Gretel. Like,
oh yeah,
you know, she's like, hey, I've cast a spell on them, but you have to feed them now. Like, I don't want to do that, and you're in charge, and you do it, or else bad things will happen. You know, so like, but in folklore, the longer a witch's spell is on you, and the more of your life essence that's drained out of you, the less of you become.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I liked that. I think to me that made perfect sense. I was like, well, Josh Brolin was under for like, what, 5 minutes?
Yeah. Not even.
So
I think this was really great, and it highlights how you can tell a story that takes a lot of like the social, or not social, but rather cultural norms that we have for something like witchcraft, for something like an old witch tale, and then you can superimpose it over a modern story. You don't have to answer every question. You can just tell a really good scary story, and it even doesn't matter how it ends. Like, this still is a horror movie. You know?
Oh, 100%.
It doesn't matter that the last 3 minutes you're just laughing your ass off. And here's the other thing. The camera work at the end of this is fucking phenomenal, because we get the one shot of her running in between houses, even, you know, like where she runs through and you see her look behind as she's in between the two houses. She's like, ah! And like, then the kids running behind her, slowly catching up. Like, so fucking perfect. Like, absolutely phenomenal. But this movie shows that you can do that. You don't have to explain everything to the audience. You don't have to answer every question that anybody would have. You don't have to give us all the lore and mythology of the haunting in Connecticut or Annabelle or whatever. Like, you can just tell the story, you know?
And so I really want to talk about the themes, because I like that Zach Cregger basically said he did like a Reservoir Dogs, where he was like, well, you know, I didn't write it intentionally to have, you know, these specific themes, but if you see those, awesome.
Yeah.
You know, and like, so I want to talk about the two that really stood out to me.
Okay.
One, I took away that this is a very big look and metaphor at school shootings and what the survivor mentality of school shootings can be, because you have a classroom of kids that are gone. Mm-hmm. You have parents that don't understand why it could happen, which to me is very similar to school shootings. People always question, well, how could this happen?
Yeah.
And they want somebody to blame. And the problem is, with a lot of those scenarios, the person to blame, you know, usually doesn't make it out of those alive, or, you know, it's hard to just be like, well, it's that guy's fault and that's fine. But like, the parents very clearly want someone to blame, and there's tragedy around that. And I think that, you know, weapons can have a couple different meanings, and that's one of the things that Zach Cregger says. Like, well, I didn't have a specific meaning, but I think obviously the name weapons has to do with the fact that the way people can be weaponized.
Yeah.
The other theme that I saw, and you kind of already mentioned it, was the parasites. And I took away that, and this isn't an insult to old people, I feel, But I took away the parasitic relationship that the elderly can have on the young, like you mentioned. And I Gladys ruins their house, like wrecks it. There's food everywhere. It's disgusting. The walls have fucking newspapers on them. She destroyed one of the rooms. And because the house is beyond like fixable in her mind, she's like, well, let's just move on. And that's kind of like the theme of what, elderly kind of do. They come into people's lives sometimes and they can kind of cause a lot of issues and problems and then just move on because they need what they need and they don't, they kind of suck the life out of other people. And, there's even a line where the mom's like, she has nowhere else to go. And that's kind of one of the themes. And I don't think that's necessarily painting them in a bad light because the other side of that is, sometimes they don't have any place to go.
Yeah.
But I really took those two away, like a school shooting and like a parasitic relationship with the elderly.
Yeah. I think it's funny that you specifically picked elderly because, like, in my mind, I was like, okay, parasite is a theme. It's a commentary. Like, it's something that's happening here. In my mind, it was the type of energy draining effect that a person with bad intentions can have on not just a family but a community and what their perspective, because anytime she's in an isolated scenario, she's in control. And it's because she's parasitic. It's because she's disarming, but also weird and off-putting. But then at the same time, people take pity on her. But she actually has bad intentions. So, like, to me, it wasn't about age at all. It was just about, like, her intentions. Because going back to witchcraft, that's what it comes down to. What are your intentions when you cast the spell? What are your intentions when you place a curse? So to me, it was more about the parasitic nature that a person with bad intentions can have on everything in their surroundings,
And see, and now that you say that, I'm like, well, that makes sense because, like, Justine kind of has a parasitic relationship with Paul to some extent. Like, they kind of feed off each other in some ways that aren't always healthy.
Yeah.
The reason I chose elderly is because when you
hate old
Gladys,
people.
yeah. I'll never be old. I'll live forever. But when you first see her, she's hunched over. She's very, like, old womanly. But then when Alex comes down and his parents are possessed, she's very upright. She's very sit down.
Yes.
She's not elderly. She's not confused. Like, she's very good at flipping that switch. That's kind of why I was like, oh, maybe that's part of it. But I see what you're saying, and I agree.
She kind of the differences in the way that she presents herself kind of reminded me of that classic movie The Witches. Remember that movie? Yeah, where they turn the kid into the mouse. I was like, oh, and what's cool about it is I can see a lot of the themes, and I like that Zach Cregger's like, hey, I just wrote a story, and like you can get whatever you want
about
out of
grief.
It, right?
Really, that's really what it's about.
And
for
it
him.
is about grief. And so really the character that like takes that perspective the most, actually, regardless of what you may see on screen, the character that actually is experiencing the most grief is Justine. Her character, because you even see her, she's like, I just need to go to work. I can't. Like, she's like, I just need to not be thinking about this and alone by myself all day. And everybody's like, we're sorry, our hands are tied. Everyone hates you. Like, and like, but that's how it can feel when you're in like a horribly isolated scenario, feeling the worst emotions ever in a completely unexplainable scenario, So like, really, like, and you would think that the answer would be that Archer, the dad, has the most grief, but really he is an example of what specific grief with a vector looks like. Like, this is my grief, and this is how I will choose to start handling it now. So I think it's a really great tale of grief. I like that theme. I like the theme of the parasites throughout because witchcraft is parasitic in nature. You're either pouring your essence and intention into something, or you're leeching off someone else's essence and intention. And like, so like there's a lot to say about that in there. And I think using that as a cultural and social convention to storytell specifically in a story that's called Weapons is really cool.
Yeah, I also saw... No, I'm not going to bring that up on the podcast. I don't want to dive into that. It's too political for me right now.
Oh, okay.
I saw some people try to tie it into some political stuff, and I see it, but I don't agree with it.
This movie, I'm going to go with Zach Cregger on that. If you think this movie's political at all, that is on you. Like,
exactly.
It's not.
Here's my final thought.
Yeah.
The other Whitest Kids You Know sketch moment in this movie that it's my third favorite funny moment because it goes, funniest moment is the kids chasing.
Yeah.
Second funniest is Josh Brolin waking up from his dream and being like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Third funniest to me was Marcus chases Justine into a gas station and they're running around and you see Josh Brolin tackle him into the like coolers.
Yeah.
And Justine's running around, and she's like asking the attendant for help, and he's like, get out of my store. She's like, fucking help me.
Yeah, no, that was actually that. Okay, that felt real. Like that
Right?
felt real. Well, because like,
fucking help me.
well, you also like, so like, of course the gas station attendant's like, get out. He has no idea. This has only been happening for 20 seconds in his world.
Yeah, he has no fucking clue.
He doesn't know what's going on. Yeah, so she runs into his store, gets tackled by some guy who apparently is like not saying
the
anything, just
principal
angry.
of the town school.
Yeah, and then starts running out, and he's like, get out. Like, yeah, that would be your response if you own that store. You'd be like, get out of my fucking store. I got to deal with this mess now. Like, I was like, oh yeah, no, that's a real response. Like,
Dude, but that was so funny to me. I don't know why. Maybe because it was real. Like, real comedy moments are funnier to me than staged ones, I guess.
I think we've stumbled upon a third theme. I think Zach Cregger did a really good job of making sure that the levity of this movie is felt in moments of realism, like hyper-realism. In a movie that's about witchcraft and suspending your disbelief and some magic and like curses and stuff like that. The funniest moments are when we come back to like what might really happen. Like
I love that.
So good. Yeah. Absolutely phenomenal. This is I said when I left, I texted you. I was like, top 10 for me this year for sure. Easily top 10. You said this might be your favorite movie of the year so far. You said that every time we've gotten a new good movie. Do you realize that this year you've been so
I wrote down
because they keep getting better, obviously.
Well,
which means in
problem.
December we're gonna get the best movie of the year.
Avatar, Fire and Blood, or whatever.
That's November.
I don't care. I don't care about that movie.
All right. Final thoughts? Anything else on this?
I'm checking. I don't think so. I mean, look, overall, I think the horror is such an awesome genre because you can do so much with so little. And I think that a movie like Weapons, it reminds me a little bit of The Damned. I think if you liked Weapons, you would like The Damned.
Your favorite movie of the year, The Damned.
I fucking love that movie, dude.
All right.
I think Weapons is just a really good look at a fresh story with like fresh ideas and even some recycled ideas that have fresh takes on them. And I think for a sophomore outing as a director, after already having a hit like Barbarian, I think Zach Cregger, besides Resident Evil, because I think he's a great choice for it, I really think he's the kind of director and writer that I want original new ideas from.
I agree.
I think some directors I really like when they take properties that already exist. Like Robert Eggers. I love that he did Nosferatu. Yeah. I'm so excited for Werewolf. Like I think he's the perfect kind of director, and he proved it for those kind of things.
But also doing that period piece style too. Yeah.
And I think Zach Cregger, Barbarian and this have a very specific feel of this is the real world with heightened elements that are believable. That are heightened elements of things that we've thought about before.
Yeah, they're just exaggerative. They're caricatures, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And I think this movie, for one, it looks amazing. I think it's edited really well. I think the sound design's incredible.
I agree.
Every single fucking performance. When Alden Ehrenreich first showed up, I was like, it's Han Solo, baby!
Yeah.
Like,
that was
everybody in this is great.
He looks way different than he's ever looked in this film. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I was like, wait, that's that guy? Like, I honestly, with the mustache and the shorter curly hair, I did not recognize him.
Have you seen Cocaine Bear?
No.
You should watch that. He's great in it.
Oh, he's
Him
great
and Ice
in
Cube Jr.
Cocaine Bear, famously.
Him and Ice Cube Jr. fight a Cocaine Bear.
Cocaine Bear? Yeah, all right.
No, I loved this. I don't know. Okay, this might not be my... This is probably going to end up in my top 3, but I think...
Okay.
I just looked at my list of my favorite movies. I think F1 is still my favorite movie of the year so far.
So all I'm going to say anytime we get a really good movie like this, anything that's been certified greatness so far this year, I'm like, all right, cool, top 10, right? And I don't think I've said it enough times where, like, even if I said it, like, 5 more times this year, I would be too many in the top 10 because, like, I'd rather just say that and then, like we do at the end of the year, I'll figure out where they fall. Like, I'll actually think about them and I'll take, like, take a little moment and drink some tea and line them up and go, all right, what were the good ones? What were the ones I really liked?
my top 10 so far only has, with weapons included, 6 movies.
So
I still have plenty of room to add more.
Yeah, and there's
not
lot of
10
movies
for my
coming
top
out.
10 yet.
There's a lot of movies coming out. Caught Stealing comes out next month.
Dude, I think Predator Badlands could be in my top 10 maybe.
Oh,
I
I
think
can't
it's
wait for
possible.
Predator Badlands.
Dude, Running Man might be. Josh Brolin again, that has a chance.
But you have to remember, I'm going to do the same thing that we did last year, and it's going to be top 10 TVs and movies. TV and movies.
TV's going to be hard for me because I haven't watched a lot of TV this year.
Me neither.
I'm gonna have a
Anyway,
big catch-up
moving
month.
on. What's your
No,
jam?
I'm gonna have a catch-up month. Don't worry.
What's your jam?
I have 2 jams.
You got 2 jams. One is
So I did
boysenberry.
I did a double feature.
One's
by the
actually
way.
a marmalade.
Before I saw Weapons,
I
saw
fucking trash panda. I'm sorry.
Do you want to do your jam first, Kevin?
No, sorry.
Since you
I'm
just want to keep talking? You
Yeah,
wanna just-
yeah.
I have the talking stick.
Oh,
And I'm putting my
sorry.
blood on it.
Sorry.
Hold on. And I'm snapping the stick.
Blood!
Dude, wait. We forgot to mention the fact that Marcus at one point just randomly throws up a ton of blood.
Oh no, that was
On his
that
husband.
that was ichor. That was like black ichor.
That was awesome.
Yeah, that was nuts.
Okay, so I have 2 jams. I did a double feature. Before I saw Weapons, I saw Freakier Friday, the Freaky Friday sequel.
Oh yeah,
Listen.
Freakier Friday. This
Freakier
time they're
Friday.
older.
Lindsay Lohan, oh my God, I'm blanking on
Jodie.
Jodie.
No, what's her name?
Jodie Foster.
No,
it's
what's her
the.
name?
Oh my God, why?
I can't remember her
From
name either.
Halloween. Jamie Lee Curtis.
Jamie Lee
Jesus
Curtis.
Christ,
I
thank
said
God.
Jodie.
You're
That's not
close.
far. Jodie Lee
Well, it's
Curtis,
Hannibal.
famous detective and Michael Myers star.
Yeah.
You know, she works over at Zach Kroger's with Daniel
Oh my
Kahlúa.
Freakier Friday it's really fun. Look,
Okay.
I
Fun
don't think
or good?
I'm-
Is it fun or is it
It's-
good?
it's-
Would you see it
I mean,
again?
it's fun. No.
Then it's fun. All right, cool.
That's what.
That's
Yeah,
the
it's fun.
definition
Like,
of fun. Yeah.
I'm not the demographic for this movie. The demographic for this movie, in my opinion, are any parent with a kid that is a teenager.
Yes.
Like, that's
All
the
right.
demographic.
All right.
Like,
yeah.
I thought it was funny. I loved seeing Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan together. I think Lindsay Lohan is actually kind of phenomenal in this, doing a great job of playing, because this time for the body swap, it's not the two of them swapping. It's Lindsay Lohan has a daughter. She's engaged to Manny Jacinto from The Acolyte
Yep.
and Top Gun and The Good Place.
Yep.
And he has a daughter, and what happens is Jamie Lee Curtis goes into Manny Jacinto's daughter, Lindsay Lohan goes into her daughter, and the daughters go into the parents of Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan. And it is just Lindsay Lohan playing her daughter, playing a 14-year-old is really good, but seeing Jamie Lee Curtis play another teenager like she did in the first one, but
Yeah.
this time she's 22 years older and the kid is younger, is just really fucking funny.
Oh,
and
hell
like
yeah.
they breed back Chad Michael Murray, who still has a crush on the Jamie Lee Curtis character. Mark Harmon plays the husband again, and it was just really fun. The girl that played Donna in Weapons, by the way,
Yes.
is in Freakier Friday, so I got a double feature of her.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, it is fun. If you like, I think this is a movie that if you're curious about, because maybe you like the original like I did back in 2003, wait for this on streaming. I imagine it'll be on Disney Plus next month. I don't think you need to see this in the movie. It's edited really weird with like Disney Channel style editing, where there's some parts where like it gets very silly and cartoonish and like almost as if they're purposely trying to be cringy in some moments. But look, overall, it's in my jam because it's not much to talk about. It's a fun hour and 40. I laughed. That's it. I
Hell
laughed. My other jam is
Two
way
jams.
more important and way bigger and just absolutely like one of the most exciting things to happen to me this year. After waiting 3 years since Bad Omens' actual like real album, because they came out with one at the end of 2024 called the OST, which was really just a combination of different artists and different jams and like some lo-fi tracks and some live albums and some remixes. So I don't consider it a real, like a new fresh album with new songs. So for the first time in 3 years, Bad Omens released their first new track called Spectre. It is fucking awesome. It is everything I want. It is such a cool sound. I am obviously a massive Bad Omens fan, and I love love that every single one of their albums is just a little bit different than the last in terms of feel and sound. And if this new album that they're planning that's supposed to come out later this year or early next is anything like this new song that came out, I'm going to shit my pants and throw up because it's fucking awesome.
Hell yeah.
I just want to paint that picture for you.
I fucking love that. I hope you do.
I've already listened to it like 5 times today before we recorded. I listened to it all the way to get coffee and all the way back. It's so, and this might be overstepping a little bit and people might disagree. It's very Sleep Token-esque with the ethereal like vocals and sound, but it also still has that hard drops and like almost techno beats that Bad Omens has been kind of tampering with the last like little bit.
Yeah, they do a lot of production. They do a lot of digital production on their songs. Yeah.
And I respect the shit out of Noah Sebastian, the lead singer, because for one, he's not afraid to be like, hey, I need some mental health. So like I'm not touring, I'm not working, I'm not doing anything. I'm just going to wear cat ears and stream. Awesome. But also, this to me highlights how much Bad Omens, as a band who only has 3 albums, like 3 official like written albums out, how much they're paying attention to the craft and how careful they are to make sure that what they're putting out is polished and perfected, and they're like making sure it's worth putting out.
Hell yeah.
You know, and I'm not saying that other artists don't do that, but you know, I love that Bad Omens has really taken their time on making new music. And I think that's just really great, and I'm a huge fan. So, those are my jams because
hell yeah,
I'm just over the moon.
I only have one jam this week. Very simple, bringing it out to you. My jam is actually from 2018. I was jamming St. Paul and the Broken Bones the other day, and they have an album called Young Sick Camellia. Young Sick Camellia, or Camilla, however you want to say it, doesn't matter. But it's absolutely phenomenal. They are a band. There's like 8 members of this band, but they have horns and stuff, and they are very like old school, like almost Motown, like funk, blues, jazz. But their singer is super, super soulful, like baritone. I highly recommend listening to the song Convex. That's probably my favorite song off that album. It's like the first actual track. You get like a little intro track, and then you get Convex, and it's just very funky. The horns are awesome. They do a really great job of just like rounding out their songwriting. I love the way that they develop the stories in their songs. I love the way that they deliver the lyrics. Very smooth at times, also very percussive at others. Like just can't recommend them enough, even though it's like a little bit of an older jam, but I highly recommend, specifically if you like them, watch the Tiny Desk concert that they did in like 2018, 2019. It was phenomenal. Like, and it really gives you a sense of who they are live. I want to go see them live for sure. That is my only jam this week.
Wow.
Yeah, that's it. I'm just bringing you the one jam. I haven't watched much. It's been a busy week. But next week, Alien Earth comes out, which means...
Alien Earth comes out on Tuesday, dude.
Which means we will be talking Alien Earth next week. It means I will be bringing back Patrick Smith, famed dad and comedian, to chat about Alien Earth as well. So we will have an Alien Earth episode. And
the first 2 episodes, I believe?
Yep, the first 2 episodes. So we're going to do first impressions on Alien Earth. And Odie and I are going to bring our favorite, since it's Alien Earth, we're going to bring our favorite invasion movies, because we just watched War of the Worlds, one of the best invasion movies ever, with Ice Cube.
Did we watch the same movie?
So we're going to bring our top 5, bottom 5 invasion movies.
I love
to the podcast for next week, and then we'll talk Alien Earth. I think it's going to be a phenomenal time. Odie, anything else, or can I take us out of here?
Alien Earth, early reviews are in. It's at an 8.9 out of 10.
That's great.
So looking hopeful.
I'm reaching up with my little raccoon grabby hands, and I'm grabbing the captain's wheel, and I'm going to take us out of here.
8 episodes.
Yep.
First 2 debut at once, and then it's weekly. Love it. 8 episodes, less than an hour each. Dude, it's following the format I love.
Absolutely phenomenal.
My last thought is
Skittles.
Definitely go watch Alien Resurrection, our video, because my favorite part of that is you going, Space Wheaties.
Space Wheaties. Yeah, I've had a ton of fun recording those with you, man. I think that's really great. I like that other people are enjoying them as well. You know, who knew that we were a good duo before now? Who knew? I had no idea.
I've been waiting to find out.
Yeah,
people like our Alien one.
That's great.
It's doing pretty well.
I've always also, you've also, check off the bucket list. I've always wanted to be an animated raccoon with a captain's hat.
You know what? Mission accomplished. Kevin?
Yep.
Sail away.
All right, I'm taking the wheel with my little raccoon grabby hands. Thank you, everybody, for listening to another episode of the UnPop podcast. Thank you for joining us. If you have any questions, comments, concerns about our mental health, subpoenas, or would like us to podcast live at your funeral, please email mysecretpoweris@gmail.com. Art by FrankAce, music by moi. See you next week when we talk about chest bursters and aliens and whether or not the Earth is safe to live on in the future. Spoilers, it's probably not.
Definitely not.
Yep, Jeff Bezos and Wayland Yutani control everything. So that's it.
That's it.